a versatile location tracker that goes anywhere. Welcome back to another Techstination interview. I'm Fred Fishkin. With us from Jiobit is Head of Product and Growth, Levi Bethune. Good to see you, Levi.
Good to see you too, Fred.
Well, let's start with a little background about the company. Give us the rundown.
Yeah, Jiobit was started by a father. His name is John Rinaldi. He lives in Chicago. And one day back in 2015, he took his two kids to one of the the most crowded playground in Chicago. It's called Maggie Daley Park. And anyone that's familiar with it knows that if you lose sight of your kid, you got to really stay on top of it. And John lost sight of his son, and his son ran off. And for about 20 minutes, which to a parent, losing a kid is a lifetime, he couldn't find his son. The story has a happy ending. He found his son, but in that traumatic event, he's like, I need something to keep track of my kid if this ever happens again. And John worked at Motorola at the time. And so he has a very deep understanding of location tech and mobile hardware. And so he went off to try to find the best solution and couldn't find one that fit his needs. And so he built a team and created his own and called it Jiobit.
Well, describe for us what the Jiobit is.
Yeah, I have one right here. It is a very tiny, super lightweight geolocation tracker. It utilizes GPS, cellular, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi. So all of the same internals as you would see on a smartphone, but in just a fraction of the size and weight. This is about the size of an Oreo cookie if you were to take a small bite out of the Oreo cookie. And because of how lightweight it is really modular. I put this on my kids. I put this on pets as well. This is really great for cats because cats barely notice it. Other pet trackers on the market are so heavy, but this is so lightweight. And the reason that it's so lightweight is because not only do we have all the internals of a cell phone, we don't have to have all the other stuff like a screen and a camera. We also don't need that big of a battery. And that's because of the proprietary connection that we have with the various networks that we've actually patented. And so it uses way less battery than other trackers of the same capacity.
So you charge this up. It's got a little holder for charging. You don't have to plug anything into it, right? It sits in a cradle.
Correct.
And then how long will that battery last?
Right. So on a single charge under normal use, and normal use is you're out and about, the kid is going to school, your pet is going on walks, staying at home, going out with a caregiver. It'll last up to about 20 days off of a single charge. And it only takes a few hours to charge, just like a cell phone would. You stick it in the cradle, charge it. There's no buttons or switches or power buttons or ways to open this up. So it's very durable, super easy to use. In fact, we found that our users are mostly parents of kids at the age of 4 to 8. And then we also have a growing number of users that have special needs and those that are in senior care living situations. And so they need something really simple and something really elegant that is essentially impossible to lose and impossible to turn off.
I guess it's possible to use this for tracking property as well. A suitcase comes to mind as maybe a good application for something like this if you're traveling.
Yeah, this can be used really to track anything. It comes in most handy for things that don't stay put when you've lost them. So for example, with a suitcase, if I lose a suitcase, it's likely going to stay where I left it for a longer period of time. However, those higher value items that have a tendency to walk away, this would come in handy to track those things. And this was designed for kids. And then we found ourselves in situations where pet owners wanted to use it. So we developed new accessories for them. And then we found ourselves in a situation where hikers and surfers and people that needed something durable and lightweight could track their most valuable assets. And with parents of kids with special needs, those that are prone to wander, those that are prone to run off, this is really valuable because when you lose that kid or that kid runs off, they have a tendency to continue to wander. Instead of, you wouldn't necessarily just want their last known location. You want their known location every step of the way.
So this is very different from the many Bluetooth trackers that are out there on the market. And I believe you even have a sister company since you're part of, I think it's Life 360.
Correct.
made an acquisition last year and also made an acquisition of Tile, a Bluetooth tracker. So
Right.
you're all in a family.
Yes, and we all work really well together. You mentioned suitcases. Tiles are great for suitcases, really great for keys, great for wallets, things that when you lose them or when you misplace them, you want to be able to find them and know where they were last seen and any new updates that happen along the way. However, what Tile isn't able to do is track every step of the way. Unless that device is actively connected, you're not going to know every move that it makes. And that's what makes Jiobit unique, is that it has its own cellular connection. Whereas with Tile, it relies on a cellular connection of a nearby phone. This can be out in the middle of nowhere. So long as it can see the sky and have an active cellular connection, then we'll know exactly where it is. And that's what makes this really valuable, especially for pets that wander off or kids that run out the door, because you don't need to rely on a different network. It uses a broad nationwide network to keep it connected all the time.
And the user experience, describe that for us, because this is working with an app.
Right, that's correct. So the device, just like any cell phone, requires a monthly subscription to keep that connection point active. But that monthly subscription also activates the app, and it activates all of the connection on our Jiobit cloud. So within the app, you have the ability to monitor real time where each one of these devices are. And when you receive one of these devices, you also get a collection of accessories, different ways to connect this device onto whatever you need to connect it to. So for example, I use this with my daughter, who likes to wear like elastic band pants for comfort. And so we've developed this little clip, which snaps onto the back of the device. And then this clamps on and holds secure to the elastic band. So the harder that she tugs on it, the tighter it grips. And it's really difficult to take this off with one hand, but it snaps off with a little angle and a pull, and then you can put the new ones on. And that way it doesn't get caught on things and just pop right off. It also doesn't need to be attached to the wrist or just shoved into a pocket. We've noticed that with a lot of our customers, especially those with special needs and sensory issues, anything on the wrist, they just want to pull it right off. And then it doesn't do much good when it's not connected to the body. So we found lots of different ways to not just keep this attached, but also to make it personal. So we sell these little silicone sleeves that you can use to either help it blend in or help it stand out, depending on what your needs are. Once you have this and you've connected it to your loved one, then the guardian or the caregiver has an accompanying app. And that app helps you set up the device, ensure that we know that the app knows where home is and where school is, or where the dog sitter is, or the nanny, or your grandparents, or wherever your most frequently visited places are. We help you set those up with geofences around them, so that whenever the person wearing this leaves that geofence, the app owner gets a notification instantly. They get a notification saying Jack has left home, which is super helpful for me to know when Jack is on his way to school. And then I get another notification saying Jack has arrived at school. And on those notifications, I don't even need to open up the app. I just have peace of mind that Jack is where Jack needs to be. However, if I get a notification that my dog has left home, so Odin has left home, well, I didn't want him to, and I'm not with him right now. So I treat that with more urgency, and I tap the notification, and then I can see in real time where he is and where he's turning, what alleyway he's going down at any given moment by turning on live mode. And that activates the GPS and cellular radios inside of this device to constantly be talking to the cloud and giving accurate real-time location. We also have other features inside the app that help you have more peace of mind, such as Bluetooth connection and proximity alerts. So if this device was near me, I can actually tell the app, hey, let me know when it wanders too far away. So if my daughter and I are walking through the mall together and she wanders off, I'll get a notification on my phone saying that she's wandered too far from me. Very helpful in crowded situations such as malls or amusement parks or out in public parks. There's also a feature on the app that you can upgrade your account to a more premium feature set to get SOS and emergency services dispatch. So what is useful about that is, let's say this is on my son, and my son is in a different zip code than me even. I'm away on a business trip and he is now in trouble and I need to send emergency services to him. Before Jiobit, my option was to call 911 myself. But then I've got to go through all of the hassle and the stress of trying to communicate to that dispatcher where my son is. With our SOS feature, we partnered with Noonlight, which is the leader in 911 dispatch for remote locations. And by tapping one button inside the app, Noonlight is notified instantly, not just of where this device is, but who's wearing it and all of the emergency details attached to them, such as their age, their height, their description, a photo of them, as well as any allergies or special needs that they have. They relay that information to local dispatch according to the location of this device. So they take care of all of the emergency communication, leaving me with a lot of peace of mind knowing that help is on its way to the location of this device. We also allow for sharing of location and those emergency services with people on what we call the care team. So I can invite nannies or grandparents or significant others or co-parents to also see who is wearing this device and where they're at, and we can share that location responsibility.
Are you doing any other features like fall detection or any things like that?
Yeah, there's a lot more opportunity because of the other sensors that we have inside of this, as well as the new devices that we have planned for the future. A lot of opportunities open up with us, as well as, as you mentioned, the acquisition by Life360 and the partnership with Tile, for us to tap into some of the other functions and features of this. We've taken a pretty hard stance on focusing on location and security inside of location. So most of the features that you may see on other location trackers, we've opted to reduce the scope of what this does so that we can focus on doing that really well. So as far as personal safety features such as fall detection or even active listening, some of those things actually aren't even allowed inside of certain environments. And we want to make sure that this device is allowed and easy to use everywhere. So other safety functions and even instant triggers to notify emergency personnel, those things are certainly on our roadmap. This device right now, the lightweight version of this device, is focused on location.
And you pay a lot of attention to privacy as well. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, privacy is a huge deal for us. And that's because, like I said, this company was created by parents and it's designed for kids. And that means that it's good enough for everything else. We focus on the most vulnerable and those that need the most privacy and security. So we don't share any location data, and we don't sell or trade any location data. The data belongs to the user and can be removed at any time. And we aren't doing any kind of advertising or marketing or anything with that data. And that's part and parcel because of our subscription service. We control that through and through the app. And that's how we take privacy very seriously. With security, this has gone through intense penetration tests from third parties in order to try to break our encryption on this. And we're very proud of our scores with those tests. It's encrypted from beginning to end. And we have developed our own hardware security chip, which is embedded inside the device. And what that means is that nothing can talk to our network unless it has that physical chip inside of it, which means no other outside devices can talk to our app, and no other apps can talk to our devices unless we have authenticated them. That also means that if someone were to try to open this up to tamper with that chip, it has a self-destruct, which means it destroys the chip. It doesn't explode, but it destroys the chip so that now no one can actually use that chip anymore. And those are some of the really above and beyond features that we have on the security front to make sure that location and important information about the most vulnerable are protected.
Tell us how pricing works. Describe it for us.
Yeah, so we have a normal everyday price of $129.99 for the device itself, and that includes this physical tracker as well as the 3 accessories that are for different attachment methods and the charging dock, and then it comes with an additional cost per month to keep the subscription active and to keep the Jiobit connected to the Jiobit servers and the cloud and to activate the app. And that ranges between $8.99 and $14.99 based on what kind of service plan or feature sets you want. We also have other, like I mentioned, some of the premium services such as extended history or additional notification options. We even are offering a desktop app and SOS emergency services. Those come at an additional monthly cost as well on top of the subscription. Now, right now you can purchase this through Jiobit.com. We're also available on Amazon and on Walmart.com. And then for pet owners, you can find us on Chewy.com as well.
Very interesting. So for more info, the website is?
Jiobit.com, Jiobit.com.
Levi Bethune, thank you so much for taking the time with us.
Thanks, Fred. It's a pleasure.